This episode of Casual Friday is brought to you by Carbonite.
I saw two guys beat the shit out of each other at a Louis C.K. show that was starting 5 minutes late.
So I've been reviewing a game this week. Can't say what it is, but I've been playing on the PS4.
Oh.
So, new Super Mario Brothers.
Yes, exactly. You hit the nail on the head. No, I really like it. Adam put up that video on our channel saying that he really liked it too. The triggers are probably the biggest thing for me. I was also like, I hate the DualShock 3 controller. I didn't like the analog sticks.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with Adam in that boat, but the 4 is so good.
It's cool, right?
Have you
Feels
played
great.
it? It does.
You know what it feels like? It feels like if you took the layout of the DualShock 3 and had whoever made the 360 controller put it together almost.
Exactly.
Like it's a weird middle ground between them.
No,
Yeah.
'cause I remember at E3 I was playing, I think I was playing Blacklight with it, and using the triggers on it, I was expecting typical PS3
Yeah.
triggers where it's just not comfortable at all, and they're molded to the human
Soft.
finger
Yeah.
and soft.
I don't want to
and
get like bench Kuchera levels of fetishizing it, but it feels good. Like
it feels great.
when I was playing it at E3, I was holding it while playing a pinball game, and this poor dude was like trying to demo the pinball game for me and give me this in-depth description of how realistic the tables were. You would have loved it.
I do love that game, and I did play it a lot.
You know what I'm talking about? But
I know
he
what
just
you're
like, he's
talking
like, oh yeah, we got the actual model and all the electronics. I'm like, I'm pretending to listen and I'm nodding, but all I can think is, oh my god, they fixed the triggers. Because that
Yeah.
to me is the takeaway for the DualShock 4.
Yeah, and then you've got the Xbox One, which apparently costs $100 million in
controller.
R&D to make, even
Yeah.
though it's almost exactly the same.
It's weird actually. I think it's because I spent so much time with the 360 controller this past generation, but that one actually threw me when I first held it. When I first held the Xbox One controller, I was like, the sticks are a little tinier than I'm used to. I'm sure it's
Yeah,
great.
they're smaller.
I'm sure it's something we'll get used to.
The sticks
but-
are smaller, but they also added this. It's squishier in a sense. It has my thumb stuck on it better than
Yeah,
than the old
it's got that
thumbstick.
nice rubber.
And I replaced my 360 controllers pretty frequently whenever the analog stick would start to go.
Oh, yeah.
The nubs would wear down.
Yeah, the nubs,
Yeah.
and I would just replace it. And this one just felt so much better. I'm sure it'll, like all my analog sticks will eventually break
Right.
down, but this one actually felt like it was going to hold up.
You know what had good
longer.
ridges was the GameCube controller. It had those 3 circles
Yep.
on the end of the analog stick that just felt real nice, and that 8-way gate around it, that not octagon, but hexagon.
You know what analog controller didn't have a good analog controller? The 5200 for the Atari. You guys
What?
remember that? It was the first analog controller ever.
Really?
And it would not center. So
Jeez.
you're playing games and then you would just let it drift off to the right, and then it would stay. Your character would still run off to the right, even though you would
That
stop.
actually sounds convenient for certain situations.
There's some
like,
games.
Like Pitfall.
Mad Dash Racing would be nice if you could just hold forward and have him run.
I don't know if I like the little nubs on it though.
No?
I remember when I was 12 or something, and I would like during the summer I would play Sega Genesis for like 8 or 10 hours a day. And on the middle B button there was like that hard plastic nub, and it would like wear down my finger after a while.
Yeah.
Was it for the blind? Was it? I'm being serious.
I don't know
why
because
they
it was
put
only
those
on the
nubs
one
it.
button.
Yeah, I don't know why they
So-
put that nub on there.
I think it's like the home keys on a keyboard, how those
Right.
two right there let you know where to land.
Right.
Yeah, I guess they don't expect you to look at your controller
Right.
while you're using it. But like now with the new Steam controller that has the dual track pads,
Yeah.
some people are saying that they wish it had the little nubs on it, because otherwise because you don't even have to press down to move, so
Right.
if you're not looking at it, it can be really hard to figure out like where your finger is.
It's weird, and I think it depends on the game whether or not, because it can sense pressure and touch. So I think theoretically it could. And the pictures they released, there's like 2 rings, right?
Yeah.
You could sort of, and I think that if I'm reading Tommy Refness, the Meat Boy guy's
Yeah,
post
that's what
right,
I was reading.
Yeah, he made it sound almost like that didn't really occur to them until he was playing Meat Boy on it in front of him.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe in one of their earlier prototypes or something, and then I don't know what the deal with that is.
I'm
but-
so reticent to say anything about that controller until I have it in my hands. But when I first saw it, I was scrolling down their site and I was like, I guess that's what the back of it looks like. It's got touchpads on the back, but where's the front? And then I realized, oh my god, that's the front of the controller.
Yeah, it's
What is
really
going
weird.
on?
It's really weird.
I want to hold it though.
Yeah.
I do too. I think that actually could work also.
I think it will work, especially given that they've been working on this specific controller for so long, for so many years, just trying to get this right. So I feel like it has to work.
Yeah.
And it will work.
Well,
I
it's so
think
much
it will.
smarter than just being like, we made a refined 360 pad. Because if we want to use a 360 pad on Steam, we'll plug one in.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's weird how the buttons are in the center, but it seems like those aren't even going to be your main action buttons. Like you could still use the right trackpad as like X, A, B, Y, or whatever.
Did you hold the 2DS at all?
Yes.
When you were at PAX? How does that feel? Because that looks like it would feel pretty good, actually, with like the buttons on the side of the top screen.
Yeah, it feels good, actually. It was just a little bit heavy. That was the only thing that really threw me off about that one.
Seems like a good device for when you're playing it in bed and holding it above you to just drop and just have it completely flat in your face.
Yeah, I hit my face with my iPad the other day.
Oh, that's,
so it happens.
that's a big one.
It literally just, and then I got really mad too.
That's
it was
the worst.
so embarrassing.
The anger is so intense because you have no one to point it at but yourself.
I couldn't control it. I threw it down the bed and I was like, fuck this iPad.
Jeez.
At least it didn't leave a mark. But yeah, I mean, the 360 controller is probably still my favorite of all the ones that have been released. I mean,
it just feels like home now. That like it's been around for so long that it's just that's what a video game controller is to me.
Yeah, and you can't go back to the retro ones after that.
And I felt like the jump from the Xbox, what do we call it? Original Xbox now?
We call it the Xbox One.
Can't we call it the Xbox One? The jump from that, the second generation controller, not the huge fat one. That was a.
I kind of like that thing.
Oh
man,
man,
the only one who did.
Oh, that was a piece of
switching
garbage.
grenades in Halo by doing this claw thing like a Monster Hunter player. That was pretty good.
That was the worst. But going from that to what they evolved into, and then to the 360, felt great. It was like, oh, everything works now except for the D-pad.
And like looking backwards, like I tried to go play some original Smash Brothers on N64. Just first of all, a three-pronged controller is insane.
N64 is terrible.
Like why? Like who is that for? This three-pronged monster thing, but also just the analog sticks are the pits, especially if you have old ones. Like you can't control a game that way.
Yeah, there's no resistance whatsoever.
None. They weren't built to last, I don't think. Or maybe the N64 is just old and we were old and we need to accept that. One of the two.
I think we didn't know any better in the 90s.
Yeah.
I think it was we were coming off of this whole, like I said earlier, the 5200 was the first analog, and then Nintendo 64 did it, and then Saturn followed up as well with their controller for Knights.
Oof. The thing that looked like holding a Sony
just,
Walkman.
It was just holding a Walkman with nubs on it. But yeah, we were just kind of getting used to it, and it worked at the time. But now we've evolved.
We've learned.
The GameCube controller was like light years better than the N64 because
God,
in terms of button layout, it's pretty much the same as the 360 now.
Pretty much, yeah. You've got 4 on the side and triggers and a bumper.
Yeah,
and
everything's on the same axis.
I think the GameCube controller it struck us all as really weird looking at first because it was such a lumpy looking, melty thing.
It looks cartoonish.
It does. Like
just like two gray jelly beans on the side.
Yeah.
But I liked it. That was a comfortable controller. I'm actually really bummed out to think that we won't be able to use that controller for the next Smash Brothers game. Because the Wii U has no way to put a GameCube controller in it.
I guess.
It'll be okay. The classic controller will probably solve that
I
problem.
think the solution is to not play Smash Brothers.
That works for some people, not everyone.
There have been some weird controllers throughout history.
Yes.
Like the Dreamcast.
And Valve, according to Valve, we are not done with weird controllers.
No.
Hopefully the Steam controller does not have the Dreamcast like VMU.
Or
units.
the cable that attaches at the bottom.
Yeah,
remember
that was a great.
What on earth?
That was great. That was a great design choice.
Good call.
Yeah, way to go, guys.
Sega.
I just wish that a company would put out something like the old ColecoVision Sports Action Controller.
I can't help you.
You guys have never seen this before.
Is that the DDR
With
pad?
No. So
joystick thing?
So Coleco, back in the day, they put out this controller. It looked like 2 boxing gloves because 2 controllers, 2 boxing
That's
gloves.
what I'm thinking
And
of.
you would wrap your hand in like this, and there was a joystick up here with 4 buttons underneath. And then there was also a dial pad in case you needed to make a phone call in the middle of the game. But you would just play your game like this.
Also,
and it was
doubled as brass knuckles. So
Yeah, you can win a fight with it.
yeah. It was actually surprisingly comfortable.
I'm trying to picture that. I need a left-handed one.
Keep practicing.
Like this.
We'll do it in slow motion.
We'll practice.
Do it.
I don't know. I think it's really fascinating, though, that we can have good D-pads on non-Nintendo systems. I think their patent ran out or something, and like Nintendo owned the cross-shaped D-pad for a really long time, and I think now everyone has it.
Yeah.
Including like the Xbox One pad.
2005 is when that happened. The patent expired or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then PlayStation was like, yoink.
Yeah, we'll
We're
take
gonna do that now. Great idea, Nintendo.
Good for them.
Probably your best. Hey, if you like Casual Friday and you want to support the show, then why not check out Carbonite? Carbonite protects your data from a crash, fire, theft, or accidental deletion by automatically and continually backing up your files securely offsite. Whether you need it to support 1 or 2 home computers or all the computers at your small business, Carbonite is simply the better backup plan. Plans start at just $59 a year, but you can get a free trial by going to carbonite.com and entering the offer code CASUAL. You'll get 2 bonus months if you decide to buy. Remember, that is carbonite.com, and the offer code for 2 bonus months is CASUAL. Because there should be nothing casual about backing up your data. Wink.